Hey folks, thanks for joining me once again. Well, today we're going to be having a look at a brew from the land of dreams. Firestone Walker's Double Barrel Ale, which comes in at 5% alcohol by volume. Now, until recently, I'd never actually laid eyes on a Firestone Walker beer here in Australia. But I believe that not so long ago, their brews won some awards here in Australia at a beer festival, and suddenly they've found their way onto the shelves at Dan Murphy's. But unfortunately, only just the Pale Ale and the IPA, which is quite typical, sadly. Anyhow, this is interesting in that it's actually a British style Pale Ale, and it's actually fermented in oak barrels, so it should have a bit of a oaky sort of taste to it, I would imagine. But anyway, enough babbling about this brew. It's time to crack off the cap and make an assessment of it. So I'll pour it out into this Spiegelau tulip glass, which I really like to use a hell of a lot. It's a great glass. If you haven't got one in your collection, it's definitely something that you should invest in. Alright, so I'll just plonk that down and we'll have a look at the appearance of this brew. Well, as you can see, it's definitely on the amber spectrum. It's quite carbonated too, and it's got a slight sort of a haze to it as well. It's perhaps more amber than your typical pale ale. In fact, it's definitely a more dark amber sort of a colour. Hopefully the camera captures that. Anyway, and yeah, we've got an off-white head there, just a little over 2 fingers, and it's quite frothy looking. Okay, onto the aroma. Alright, definitely picking up a faint smell of toasted malts there. I believe that they'd undoubtedly use an interesting blend of malts for this brew, and hops too. Alright, there's also a very slight note of something which is akin to vitamin C tablets, which I find very strange, but that's as best I can describe it. Alright, well, we've talked about the appearance and the aroma, which means it's time for the taste test, folks. So it's my first beer of the day, so let's dive into this one. Cheers. Alright, well, it certainly has a nice hot bite to it. Up front, I'm getting a lovely flavour of, roasted malts. Yeah, there's definitely notes of caramel and toffee there that are really quite delicious. So yeah, it's definitely got a very strong malty backbone to it. And of course, in the finish, as I said, there is some hops present. So it has a very decent bitterness as well, but it balances out nicely. So I'm compelled to have another gulp now. All right. Delicious. Well, it's definitely holding that taste profile. Look at the lacing on the glass there too, folks. Looks just wonderful. So yeah, it's a tasty brew. I'm finding it very hard to fault flavour-wise. It's absolutely delicious. A fine example of its style, in fact. And it's kind of sad that we've been denied access to this lovely brew in Australia up until now, because it's absolutely superb. And is it drinkable? Well, yeah, at 5% ABV, it's certainly very drinkable and something you could session too. It's quite a good one for the Aussie winter, in fact. I would go as far as saying. Yeah, I've been drinking this actually, and the old Young's double chocolate stout at the moment, and I've really been enjoying them. So yes, but the one thing that lets it and this beer down, I'm afraid to say once again, is the price point, which is absolutely ludicrous. But like I've said before, unfortunately, you're going to pay a hefty fee for anything that's considered craft beer here in Australia when your carton of or case of your average everyday macro brew is around about the $40 mark. So this was more than double that, in fact, but well worth it because it is delicious. All right, well, time for me to wrap this up. I think I've rambled on enough about this brew, so let me have my one last gulp. Okay, well, all in all, it's a superb brew, truly delicious. There's nothing offensive about it flavour-wise. A fine example of its style. So I think it's deserving of a solid 10 out of 10. So there you go, folks. A 10 out of 10 for Firestone Walker's Double Barrel Ale. So grab yourself a 6-pack next time you're at Dan Murphy's. All right, well, thanks for joining me once again, and hopefully I'll be back real soon with another review for you all. But until then, fare thee well, all.